Wayne Enterprises has just sent Bruce to Stockholm for a business trip, and as he steps off the private jet, he slips into a blacked out V60 Polestar. Let's go. 73 grand is pocket change for Bruce Wayne, and as we lift the hood of the V60 Polestar, 312 horsepower coming from this turbocharged 4-cylinder 2 liters, and an additional 143 horsepower coming from the electric motor in the rear to give us 455 total horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque. Let's roll that nighttime Bruce Wayne Batman 0 to 60. Zero to 60 in 4.43. We're in pure mode. I can't exactly floor it here, but I can put the throttle down almost all the way. So what is this 0 to 60 going to be with about 70 to 80% throttle here? And this is just fully electric. The engine has not come on at all. There's 60. 0 to 60 is actually better than I thought. So it did it in 10.6 seconds. Not only do we have Polestar springs in here, but Polestar and Öhlins work together to put in these adjustable dampers. When I got this car, the dampers were completely maxed out. The car rode like a rattle trap. So I set it up. There are actually three different settings that Polestar recommends from the factory. And I set it on the comfort setting because we got to have a little bit of a luxury. And the comfort setting we'll find out is plenty sporty enough for my type of driving. Let's get onto the exterior. We have a blacked out front end here. There are only about 4 different colors for the V60 Polestar. Black is the route I would be going. I typically don't say that, but it just looks so clean here. And then when the sun hits this paint color, it kind of brightens up to a little bit of a charcoal, maybe a little brown aspects of it as well. We hardly see any wagons in the United States, and performance wagons are even more rare. We have Polestar forged 19-inch wheels here with the Brembo gold calipers up front, looking absolutely delicious. Not only that, it says Polestar engineered here, but we have the gold tips here. So we got that Batman gold and black theme going on. As we come to the back, yes, we still have gold painted calipers on the rear. Just looks so beautiful from every angle. I'm a big sucker for wagons, and Volvo has hit it out of the park here with the V60 Polestar engineered. Now it does sound pretty good, as we'll find out when we start driving it, but there are no noticeable exhaust tips here, as Volvo will be fully electric before we know it. Lifting this up, there's over 20 cubic feet of space. Lots of functionality here. Lifting this up, we will have the charger as well as the jack I use to adjust the rear suspension with the Öhlins. Now we have the 12 volt in here. It would have been nice to have a traditional household plug-in for functionality. You can fold the seats down, of course. We're gonna close this. This has been, I mean, an absolute dream taking my kids to school. These doors feel amazing. It is built in Sweden, if you didn't know. We also have the blacked out window surround, blacked out roof rails as well. It just looks awesome. All right, in the back, soft touch here, Bowers & Wilkins sound system, out of this world. Now, one thing about this car, even though the Polestar engineer gave us the gold Batman seatbelts, I don't have any other gold going on. I wish all the stitching in here was gold. But if I move my kid's seat, what is it like to sit back here for an adult? Actually, tons of headroom. I have okay leg room, kind of a hard back to here. We do have mat pockets on each side. Heated outboard seats. We have 2 USB-Cs back here, and this is where the battery pack sits. It is kind of where the traditional drivetrain tunnel would be to power the rear wheels, but instead all the batteries are here to power the rear wheels. There are no vents right here. Instead, the vents are right on the B-pillar area. We also have the little lights up that are, you know, touch capacitive, which is kind of cool, kind of neat. Now at night, there's an additional tiny little key light right there that helps get you in and out of the car. Now here's the charger, and one thing about this charger is that there's no indicator to let you know that you've left it open. So I wish Volvo would fix that. But as we get into the front seat, these doors just feel so good. The handles feel excellent. Get that beautiful silver speaker grille here, or aluminum speaker grille here for the Bowers & Wilkins. memory seats on the driver's side, Volvo door sill here, and we have the adjustable leg extension, thigh extension here. These seats are Napa leather. They are very, very, very comfortable. I could spend all day in these guys. On the inside, we have two big screens. You know, this 12-inch screen here is not the most customizable. All that will come up there is a small amount of information for your trip meter. I've been getting about 31, 32 miles per gallon in hybrid mode. And if you're wondering how much EV range, I got up to about 45 miles of EV range, even though Volvo says 40, 41 miles of EV range. So exceeding that. Now, I can't change this area. I wish I could put the radio up here. Unfortunately, it's only map or no map at all. There's no other customization going on. I do have a head-up display. It is very bright, but at least it gives us turn by turn when you put in an address here in the Google built-in, which is pretty cool. Now, I don't have Android Auto in here, so if your subscription on the Google built-in ends, you're not gonna be able to use your Android Auto in here, but it does have Apple CarPlay if you have an iPhone to work around. But the Google Maps in here work really, really well. It's, as you guys can see, it's very quick. I'm all over the place right now, but yeah, I really enjoy the Google Maps here, but I honestly would have preferred to have Android Auto, at least as an option here. 360 camera. Well, when you press a button, I wish it came up 360 initially. It is showing my front camera, actually my rear camera right now. But if I tap here, it will show me the top-down camera. It's not the highest 360 camera, and unfortunately, I can't pull up the top-down camera and the backup camera at the same time. I have heated steering wheel and heated seats, no ventilated seats, because why would Batman need ventilated seats in frozen Stockholm for his business trip? Now, there are not a whole lot of settings with this screen, and Volvo is a minimalist. You know, they are a Swedish brand, so minimalism is their thing. You only have one interior choice in here, which is this, you know, black Napa leather, which is beautiful, but not enough Polestar sprinklings in here for my liking. Like I said, not enough yellow stitching. The settings here are super basic. I like how you can keep it in pure mode if you're plugging it in every night to make sure that it starts off using that battery initially. But you also have different options here for your driving modes. Polestar is going to give you the most performance. And like I said, these dampers are manually adjustable. They are not electronically adjustable. So if I put it into Polestar mode, nothing's going to change with the suspension. You're going to have to jack the car up in the back, each wheel at a time, to, you know, dial in a stiffer suspension in the back. At least the front's a little bit easier to get to. Anyways, the creep turned off because it allows the vehicle to turn into one pedal driving without turning it into the B driving mode. The B driving mode is good. I just prefer to be in the normal driving mode. So creep is the way I like to go. I don't have to use the auto brake hold, and it's been awesome for everyday driving. Also, you can change the steering wheel firmness as well here. Of course, I'm going to keep it on the firmest possible, as this is a performance car. We have the Swedish crystal right here. Would love if this was not this little creature, which I would have loved to have it as a bat here in this Polestar edition. And lots of glossy black here, but it doesn't really bother me too much. Unfortunately, I have like no storage space here at all. Because there are batteries in this huge tunnel. So Volvo has decided to give us maybe a little storage space in the glove box, which is felt lined and very, very nice instead. Didn't mention the panel roof. It is beautiful in here, brings in a lot of light. If I want to like fold it forward, it's touch capacitive. It's kind of like a drag and slide. If I want to open up the roof there, it's a press. I'm going to start this review in the electric mode because this is a plug-in hybrid and it has kind of like a dual nature to it. It is super smooth, super quiet. Of course, when you're in full electric mode, I was really impressed with the amount of power that it has, even though on paper it doesn't have a whole lot, 143 or so. It is plenty enough to get this vehicle driving in everyday traffic. Never once did I need to dig into the 2 liters. Additional 300 horsepower to get this vehicle moving, and that was proven with the 0 to 60 around 10 seconds in pure electric mode, which is quite impressive, despite it, you know, being weighed down by all the extra batteries and you know, electric or gasoline engine in here. So it drives like a rear-wheel drive electric car as long as you have charge. And if you want, you can use the engine as a generator to charge the battery as well. Like I said, 45 miles is what I saw with electric range on this 18.8 kilowatt hour battery that sits right in the middle of the vehicle. And yes, I can slam it into the charge mode or the B mode, and it is one pedal driving. Volvo and Polestar have some of the best one pedal driving out there on the market. Their normal drive mode actually kind of has one pedal driving built in at lower speeds, so I never use that B mode at all, as long as the creep is disabled here. So when I first drove this vehicle, it was completely unacceptable ride quality, and I couldn't believe for $70,000 it was riding like it did. But as I looked and did some research and then found out that all the dampers were completely maxed out with stiffness, I quickly went to the comfort mode. There's also like a Polestar Performance and I think a balanced mode as well. I know the naming might not be 100% accurate there, but the comfort mode here is still plenty firm, but I feel like this is a perfect setting for daily driving. When I throw this in the turns, which I don't have a lot here, again in Florida, it feels super planted. And I think a part of that has to do with these lightweight 19-inch forged wheels. The initial steering and turn-in response is fantastic. And I never feel the weight of this vehicle. All plug-in hybrids are heavy, and Volvo has made this vehicle somehow, and Polestar through its tuning has made this vehicle feel really, really light. But we're gonna have a straightaway here in a little bit, so I'm gonna put it into, well, I could put it into hybrid mode if I want, and if I do, the little gasoline drop, I don't know if it's gonna show on the camera, but there's a little gasoline drop that'll show me if I get past a certain throttle, the gasoline engine will turn on and assist. But if I turn the Polestar mode on, the engine is on all the time because the car is saying, hey, there's no waiting around here. We know you want a boogie. We're going to give you the full fat 455 horsepower. It would have been cool to have paddle shifters here. I didn't even mention this has an 8-speed auto for the gasoline engine. The rear motor is a single speed. And what do I actually feel here is that I do have some rumble when this engine's on. So when you're fully electric, it's completely silent, no vibrations. It's still pretty much completely silent here, but I get this rumble coming through the bottom of the car that almost feels like a V8. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels like it's a substantial thump going on in here. Here we go. Oh, shifts are so smooth. Gosh. Okay, there's 80. This thing is so smooth and powerful. You know, I have driven a similar powertrain to this recently, and that would be the Toyota Crown with the Hybrid Max powertrain, because it has an electric motor in the rear. It's completely disconnected from the front setup going on. Now, the Volvo is a little bit different, is that I don't have a drive motor in the front. I only have an electric motor in the front to assist with the engine stop-start technology that I'm aware of. So the Toyota's is a little bit different, but you still have the same sort of characteristics when you accelerate. This is way faster, of course, about a second faster, 0 to 60, maybe even more. But you have these buttery shifts that is filled out. Oh yeah, that is a huge pothole that this vehicle just soaked up. Nothing rattled in here. The Swedish build quality here is impeccable. But anyways, yeah, the electric motor fills in any sort of lack of power you would have when the transmission is shifting. And speaking of Japanese, like the Toyota Crown, this uses a Japanese and almost like a Toyota source transmission, the 8-speed Aishin that we see in other Volvo products, but in a ton of Toyota and Lexus products as well. So that 4-cylinder distributes its power to the wheels via that 8-speed auto, and just pedal down, you get that initial shove from the electric motor, then you're just being pulled forward by a rocket under the hood. It is a very addicting setup that Polestar and Volvo have here, and I could absolutely, like, to me this is an end game powertrain. I have all the power and acceleration I want. I have all the fuel efficiency and energy efficiency that I want, and there's zero compromise, really. I have 45 miles of electric range, so I can drive it like an electric car for my daily daily driving needs. And then when I want to drive like Batman that needs to fight crime, I just put it in Polestar mode or this hybrid mode, and we're gone. And it sounds good too. And if you strain your ears, you can hear a little bit of turbo hiss as well. So I love this car. The looks of it are just drop dead gorgeous. There are hardly any Volvo wagons left here in the United States. Most of them are the cross-country models. I think this is actually the only one that's a traditional wagon, you know, that's on the same playing field as a sedan or a coupe. It's very low, and it handles like a sedan as well, of course. But yeah, Volvos, most of them in the United States are these popped up wagons that's more like a Subaru Outback sort of thing. And those are going to be cool too. They're just not nearly as desirable from my standpoint, and from Batman's standpoint that needs performance. This is like the ultimate daily driver, and it comes in, yes, at $73,000, but what else out there is there that competes with this? An RS6 Avant or something that's going to be, you know, maybe, yeah, that's 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, but that's probably going to cost like double this car. And what, like, you have the Porsche wagon variants, and then you might also have the Taycan wagon. Those are all going to cost you guys well into the $150,000, if not more. So Volvo has a niche cut out. The sub $80,000, even sub $100,000 high performance power wagon that is just drop dead sexy. It does all the things that I want it to from a modern car. Incredible performance, incredible comfort, luxury, and incredible efficiency and electric driving modes as well. This is an ultimate car for me. Once I got the suspension, is because I almost threw it in the dumpster the way it arrived. But now that I have it set up in this comfort mode, which still gives me plenty of performance, I have everything I want. No, it's not perfect, because I want a little bit more software that's customizable. I want a little bit more, you know, Batman gold sprinkled in here. But man, it's about as close as to a perfect car with the functionality in here. I didn't even talk about how a wagon adds additional functionalities. But anyways, I don't want to get rid of this vehicle. This to me is an ultimate daily driver, and I don't think I would ever get sick of it. So I'm going to end it there. Volvo, I want you to bring the V90 here with this Polestar. Don't give us the cross-country only sort of setup. And yeah, Volvo, please never kill your wagons. I know it's probably going to be fully electric here in the future, but don't stop giving us wagons here in the United States, because you make some of the best wagons in the world. And there are a lot of Americans out there that don't want an XC40 or an XC60 or an XC90. We want the performance and the handling and the sex that this V60 brings us. But I got to shut it down because I'm getting too excited, if you can't tell. Feeling like Batman 24/7, mainly Bruce Wayne, because Batman's going to be in something a little bit more over the top and not something as subdued as this. But yes, I'm Bruce Wayne on a business trip in Sweden. I'm picking this every single time. Thank you guys for watching. Smash the heck out of that like button for the Volvo wagon, this Polestar tuned masterpiece. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Gosh, it feels so light, so good in the turns.